And welcome to this inaugural International March of the Living Continuing Education Program, Robert Jackson Education Program. My name is John Farmer. I'm a law professor at Rutgers University, which is the State University of New Jersey. What's that? Former Dean of the Rutgers Law School. I'm former lots of things, basically a has-been. But it's been my privilege to be involved. Is it working? Yeah. It's been my privilege to be involved in organizing this program on behalf of Rutgers Law School and our partners, the International March of the Living and the New Jersey Bar Association. I also want to welcome, in addition to lawyers here to get continuing education credits, our friends from the Ukraine. Thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it. They have come to the march yesterday, and they're here today as our friends, and we will be presenting an award recognition at the end of today to Shalom Ministries, which has been doing what we at Rutgers have been trying to do the past few years, assisting a vulnerable community, namely the Jewish community in the Ukraine. I'm sure everybody who attended yesterday's march had their own individual reactions to it. I'll start with mine since I'm opening the program. Like many people, I remain dumbfounded at the sheer scale of the horror, the remains of which we witnessed yesterday. But the combination of so many thousands of young people with their inherent optimism amidst a scene of such historical horror left me with a couple overwhelming questions. How did it come to that? How did things develop so that the final solution was attempted? And second question is, what can we do in the present to assure that nothing like that happens or comes to pass anywhere else to anyone else? Our program today will focus on one aspect of the answers to those questions, the role of the legal profession. We'll begin by hearing from experts on the role of lawyers and judges and the collapse of the rule of law in Nazi Germany that led to the dehumanization of Jews and others and the eventual horror we witnessed yesterday. We will then pivot to contemporary efforts to intervene directly to promote justice and the rule of law. And finally, we will conclude by turning to efforts currently underway, modes of prevention. In other words, how can we prevent things like the Holocaust from happening anywhere else to anyone else? But first, to preface our conversation today, I want to introduce a couple of people who have been instrumental in organizing this day today and in supporting the March of the Living. First is Richard Heidemann. Richard is a prominent Washington, D.C. attorney and was for 5 years the chair of the Lawyers Committee for the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. His wife is the president of the International March of the Living, and his family has been intimately involved with it for a long time now. Richard,